Hey guys, hello, and welcome to the live version. But if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, I don't think I need to introduce you. I don't know the orientation on the screen.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's always backwards.
you're using your a very simple Dawn name,
I
but
am,
name.
yeah.
Yeah, but so Dawn Michelle. Which one do you prefer, Dawn Michelle or Dawn?
It doesn't matter because I go by both.
Ah,
So
okay. Because when I was setting up the stream, I was like, you always say this is Don Michelle in the video, but you
uh,
sign the email as Don. So I was like, okay, which one is better? But
it's both.
either.
I
Okay,
know
okay.
it's so confusing, but like I've always just gone by both. So
Ah, okay, okay. Because second names or middle names are not the thing really in Hungary, so I never had
Mhm.
that issue to think about, if I use it or not.
They're not really. I don't think they're really a thing here either. But it kind of stemmed from we have a family friend who is also named Dawn.
Ah,
So we always they distinguish between us as I'm
yeah.
not Michelle,
Ah, okay, okay.
and so it just was always a thing that was a part
Just
of our
happened.
language.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, okay. I was under the impression that Americans have middle names and they like to use it because it just kind of felt like everybody has a middle name, and most of the time it's uh it's different. I mean, there are stuff like you get really embarrassing like middle names because
Yeah.
some aunt in the past had that name and you have to have it somewhere, so that child is gonna have that as a middle name.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess things that other people look at from other countries can be just like weird when like we think that, oh, that is common in a different country, and turns out no, it's not. It's just the internet.
It was when I was a kid, it was common in my house when I was in trouble. So
Oh,
if you
we
got
have
the
the
first and middle name, oh, you did it.
I mean,
But then
that
as
was
we
my
got older,
full name. For if not the nickname, it's the full name, then oh boy, then that was some trouble, so I can understand that.
but then it
Okay.
just became a way to distinguish between the two of us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, okay, cool.
yeah.
But yeah, if you were formerly known as Bogotaro, so if people don't have any idea, then you've seen me post your videos, because you're the master or queen of the deck mod. So I honestly learned how to chop off most of my decks because of you. I think I did one. I can't even remember which one, but I did one by scissors, and then that was just like, oh god, no. And then I found your video, and I was like, oh, this is how you do it. And then ever since, I'm like, I'm pretty much too a little blade trigger happy because I'm like, I can do this. So yeah,
I mean, it's kind of fun.
yeah. It's so relaxing, honestly, to just do that. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't have a deck that I want to mod. I don't have anything to do.
I have a tendency to grab decks to edge while I'm like editing videos because that's a
Mm.
really long process. So I'll sit there and just color edges, and I'm like, what deck can I grab and color today?
Yeah, I chose not to edit. I mean, I sometimes just cut out little bits, but I chose not to edit my videos because I was like, if I start editing really heavily, I'm never gonna post anything because I'm just too lazy for that. So I sometimes I'm just like, I want to edge something, and I have a deck that I can edge soon, the Lord of the Rings one. So
Nice.
yeah. But let's say hi to a few people because we have Marlena Teresa. Hi, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Marlena.
Chrissy C, thank you for being here. We have Maria, who's gonna be on my channel on the. Oh God, I made a note, but I'm gonna just look into my beautiful planner because I got this moon planner. I think it's the Maria knows better than I do, but it's the 21st of February. Uh, I was all okay. I almost scheduled it today, but I will schedule it later. And we're gonna talk about the One Unknown Archetypes deck because it's kind of a deck that I want to work with. She wants to work with, so we're gonna have a chat about that. So if you're interested, please like, subscribe, do those YouTube things.
Do all
Of
the things.
course, to them, yeah, Damisha as well. Green Ribbon Tarot. Hi there, and happy Sunday to you too. Oh, my middle name is Michelle. Chrissy has a Michelle middle name as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Uh, Okay, so we are being on middle names as humans. Interesting. Yeah, I don't have a middle name, and my name Orsi is officially Orsina, but and that's the Hungarian version for Ursula. So I was the sea witch when I was growing up. Didn't like that reference at all. Now I'm more of the I kind of it's
I think
cute,
that's
but
super cool.
yeah, I know you like her, but growing up looking like that, how she
Yeah,
looked, and being compared to that, I wasn't happy.
I get to know.
Uh, yeah, but then when I was sick, I changed my name to the nickname short because
Mhm.
the numerology for my original name, when we looked it up, was just like, I'm not gonna say horrible bad, but something like that.
Right.
And we were like, okay, I'm really sick. I don't want this name that kind of have that, fate. So we changed it to something better. But yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, middle
Yeah.
names and full names are good for that.
Yep. That's when you know you're in for it.
Hi Robin. Thank you so much. I long time no see. So yeah. Happy to see. Hi Donna, how are you doing? And I know I managed to schedule this live on top of the three fat readers stream. So yeah, so I completely understand if people are watching that. But I'm on a deck edge kicking right now. Please do share which decks are you edging. Okay, Phyllis Santuca or Santucci. How do you say that? De la Fuente. I think that the last part. I'm really sorry, but I love your name. It sounds really like melodic.
Hmm.
I like that. We have Immer here. Hello.
Hello.
21st. Okay, 21st. Yeah. I knew that Maria would know that.
21st, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I saw that. Thank you so much. Ursula Dressy. Yeah, I know. I know. But I was too young to see James Bond and that version, growing up. My first James Bond, talking about fandom things,
Hmm.
was Pierce Brosnan. I think that was, yeah, because Sean Connery was already older when I
I
started
think he
watching
was
it.
my first James Bond, Sean
Was
Connery.
he?
I think so.
Mm,
I'm trying to remember. I mean, I know I've seen them. I'm pretty sure I've seen every James Bond, but
yeah, by
I'm
now,
trying to
yeah.
remember, like, who did I actually see first?
I mean, I can't say that it was Pierce Brosnan, but I know that I had a crush on him first. So he
Oh,
was the Bond first that I had a crush on him, crush on. So that's what I remember.
James Bond, Remington Steele, you know.
mm. Hello, Scarlet Moon Creation. I love that name as well. Uh, oh, cool. I have both going, but I'm a viewer. So, nice. And being a viewer means that you're a channel member for Dawn, Michelle.
Yeah.
Dawn. Yeah.
Either way is fine.
Yeah, but when I say it, I kind of think about your channel intro. So I'm like, no, I'm talking to you. Uh, oh wait, okay. The last part is perfect. Something is it's not helping me because I'm Hungarian. So is that like okay? I'm gonna just not even attempt. But I please accept my deepest apologies for butchering your name. I just finished edging a copy of the Answer is Simple Oracle. I've never even heard that. Answer is Simple. Have you
I think
know
that's
about
one
that?
of, is that I think that's one of the little Hay House, like, sort of affirmation oracles. I feel like I've seen it around.
Mm, it could be, yeah.
Yeah,
He was so cute as Bond.
it was. Yes.
On fandom decks are hard because I just end up getting lost in the memories attached to it all. Yes, but isn't that the fun part? Like you pull a card and your mind goes to completely different territories, and half an hour later, I'm like, oh, there's a card. Okay, I think I said hello to everybody, but if I didn't, sorry, I just don't see, or I'm just gonna blame it on StreamYard because why not?
StreamYard's
uh,
always fine.
yeah,
I, I'm still terrible at doing all of that kind of stuff. So,
I can't complain. The only thing that is a little bit annoying that the channel moderators' names are not different in these type of chats that I can see. So I don't know if I have a mod in the chat or not because
right.
I made a lot of my friends mods, but hopefully someone is here, because there's a new troll going around called, and I don't even want to invoke the name, but I've seen it yesterday as well, and I just don't understand those bots, because it was a bot. At least it wasn't really mean, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't get, because I don't do public lives.
Yeah,
I don't get to experience the bot thing. I mean, I get rude comments, but
I
like,
mean, I don't. My channel is relatively small. I mean, if I think about how many people subscribe to my channel and they would stand outside of my front door, I would be terrified. So it's a lot of people. But so far, and knock on wood, I didn't really get rude comments. I get sometimes high horsey ones, when people are like, and I'm like, thank you for being here. This is why you're wrong or not wrong, and but yeah. But your channel is bigger. I'm assuming there are just the troll ones.
yeah, trolls, and I tend to do a lot of stuff, I guess, on my channel that's outside of the norm for tarot, and so sometimes
Mm.
there's some pushback on that. Like when I very first started making mod videos, there was a
Oh, I can
lot of
imagine.
hate coming through my comments. I was like, delete, delete. Like,
Delete, block, bye.
I do not have time, and I do not care. If you don't like what
Yeah,
I'm saying, don't watch my channel. It's that
yeah, exactly,
easy.
exactly. Yeah, and it's funny
It's more
because
acceptable now. So
yeah, I mean, I remember that when I first saw a video about deck modding, I was like, oh, why would you do that? And then I was like, but it was explained, and I was like, oh, but that makes sense. I have tiny hands. Making a deck actually usable makes sense. And sometimes the artwork works better without
mhm.
borders and stuff like that. So, yeah, but I can understand that people were like,
Oh yeah. I mean, I still
like
get it from time to time. I'm like,
fandoms, huh?
oh
Yeah,
well.
I mean, there were quite a few things. I mean, I stopped listening to K-pop because of the fandom,
Mhm,
specifically because they ruined the whole experience for me. So
mhm.
yeah, I'm kind of happy that even though there are a lot of people who like tarot decks, it's not as cold level that people would go after you with torches to burn the witch, which is kind of funny because we're all witches in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, Twitch run can be hard. I went live on Twitch for a while and someone got me some bot followers and fired up my ass. Oh, that sucks.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I don't
Ruined
I
it
don't
for
want to deal with that. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, thank you. So what we were talking about something before before I hit the live button.
everybody.
Oh yeah, no, we were kind of bitching about like copyright issues with fandom decks and
Oh
stuff like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's
And
where we were.
yeah, so let's start with what's wrong with fandom decks, I guess, because one of the things that I'm not saying it's wrong, because it's easy to criticize the deck, and even if I say anything, like I'm frustrated with the deck or something like that, I don't mean to belittle the artist, because I know that there's a lot of work going into decks, even if they don't look like it. Sometimes it actually is a lot of work. So it's just that it can be frustrating when you have a deck. For example, the Supernatural Tarot, and Maria will know because
Mhm.
we agree on this. And can I show you some cards, because you don't have the deck yet? Do you want some spoilers
Yeah,
or
sure.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin
It's
this.
on my list, but I'm watching the show, so I'm waiting till I get a little
Yeah,
further.
I'm not spoiling anything on the show, because I
Yeah.
hate spoilers, and even if others don't, I don't spoil anything. And I edged it with an actual Sharpie, which gives a sheen to the edging, because it has such a weird cardstock. I don't think I ever had anything like this before. This deck, it's kind of plasticky, but it's not, so it's kind of weird.
That's an
But
inside edition, right?
yeah,
Okay.
and it was one of the earliest ones.
Yeah.
So some of the cards are all fully illustrated, but some of the for example, the minors are illustrated, like the Pair of Pentacles. And as you watch the show, this will make sense. So
Hmm.
the choices are really great, but some are just like, okay, We have
Yeah.
three goblets for the Three of Cups. Like there are so many scenes when you don't have to pick even a copyrighted, really like known character for the show, because you can just pick a scene from the show. You don't have to put like Sam or Dean on it if it's an issue. But
That's my frustration. You're taking a fandom that has this plethora of symbolism that you can pull from without
yes,
pulling a copyrighted character
yeah,
into the card. And it's just like the villains tarot did that really well, because there are certain aspects of the minors that are, they give you kind of just a scene, but we're
hmm,
not tying into a certain
yeah,
character per se. So like it's possible. We've seen it.
yeah. Because look at this one,
Yeah.
Nine of Pentacles, and even worse, it's
Yeah.
blurry. The
Uh,
Three of Pentacles is blurry. Like,
mm.
what is this? Like, so yeah,
Be a pip deck or don't be a pip deck. I hate the in
exactly.
between. That bugs me too.
Yeah, and when they did the pips, they are just so lazy that I want to cry.
Mm.
And when it's illustrated, it's so well picked that I'm like, King of Pentacles for Crowley, like perfection. So yeah, I don't understand. That's why I honestly love. I think this could be a very very well done deck, and
Mhm.
I don't know if Inside Edition ever going to reissue decks or make a new edition. I don't think they will do that.
I don't know, because they're pretty new to deck making, but they are. The one thing I will say for them is they are taking feedback, and you can
Yeah,
see it. You can see the evolution of their decks happening. But we do have to remember that, like, when we criticize a deck, that deck was made like 3 to 4 years ago,
yeah,
and we're just
true.
now getting it. Like, as far as the creation,
Production.
yeah. So like the big publishers, they run anywhere from like 2 to 4 years from the time
Mm,
the artist and the writer and whatever starts with the concept, and then by the time it hits the shelves, it's been several years. So now we're starting to see them integrate some of that. So I'm hopeful that they will
yeah,
continue that, because you cannot mess with a fandom. That is like the one place you can't take
exactly.
creative license, because fans are brutal, and we love these characters, and we exist in these worlds, and you can't just go, halfway with that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why I'm finger crossed, really hopeful that the Buffy deck is going
Right?
to be good, because I'm waiting for that deck. I haven't pre-ordered yet, but it's gonna be happening with my next paycheck.
Mhm,
But I haven't decided which one I want, because on book I get my decks from Book Depository,
mhm,
and both edition, the American and the UK version, is available there. And um, I'm kind of leaning it towards more of the inside the American version, because Total Books are releasing the UK version, and I have the horror tarot from them,
mhm,
and it wasn't the best quality.
mhm,
When I got the deck, I had to ask for a replacement one, because it was just like, kind of weird. Like it felt like it was opened, maybe not, but.
mhm.
So yeah, I'm just. But yes, please make the Buffy deck good, because
Yeah, that's one of those that there is so much expectation around that deck that I'm not even sure that it's ever going to be able to hold a candle to what the community
yeah,
is
of course not.
hoping for, because so many of us are Buffy fans, and it's like we're all probably going to be disappointed in some way, shape, or form. Let's just be
Yeah,
honest about it.
but what I can see for now, and no minors, like they only release majors for the preview, which is annoying as
But
fuck. Everybody except for Buffy, because Buffy kind of looks weird. I mean, Buffy doesn't look herself, which is weird because she's Buffy. But
hmm
everybody else on the cards look really good. So I'm like, please.
hopefully it'll
Yeah.
be a good one. I feel like they're slowly coming around. I mean, they're better at, like, I don't know, like Schiffer. I mean, I don't know what goes on at Schiffer, but
I don't know, because everybody that I watched an unboxing from Schiffer these days, they always start with, I don't know what's going on with this Schiffer, because the cardstock is weird, the packaging is weird. So
it's like they don't have a clue what's going on in the tarot community. I don't know anybody at Schiffer, so I don't
Yeah,
have
same.
like I don't know anything about what goes on there, but I know talking with other publishers of like they know. They watch the videos, they know what we talk
Mhm.
about. Like they're in the know, a lot of them are. And so I feel like Schiffer is one of those publishers that just isn't. Like they're just
They're just releasing decks and thinking that whatever everybody's gonna buy them. Like,
yeah, I don't know, because 'cause they're so off from every other publisher, and I know
yeah,
there's been, like, also, issues with, cardstock in terms of, like, publishers
I've
being
heard that.
able to consistently get the same kind of cardstock, like, the whole pandemic thing happened. So,
Yeah.
like I mean, in all fairness, there's a whole back end thing that we don't ever talk about. I actually worked in the publishing industry for many years, so I'm a little bit more
Mhm.
aware of how that kind of stuff goes, but, like, some of them, they're like, "Are you even trying? Are you even trying to give us decks we wanna buy?" And the
Yeah,
sad thing is they have really great authors, and they have really great deck concepts because they do some of the more outside of the box type of
yeah,
stuff, and, like, you get, like, the Star Tarot and Tarot of the She, and trying to think of others, Gaian Tarot, things like that, that are all Schiffer publications, but the production value of them is just not what it should be.
yeah. I mean, I only have the Ostara Tarot uh,
Mhm.
from them. That's the only deck that I have. And even though I like the idea of the box, for example, I hate when the decks are split into two
Yeah.
halves. Like, why? And it just bothers me. And I don't think I ever met anybody who was like, oh yeah, let's split decks into halves. That's so exciting and cool. I want that. So that's something like, I understand that it looks pretty, but
Mhm.
it's also a deck. So why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a whole
So
that's a whole other issue. Cardstock issues.
yeah, I mean,
I don't think they
hey,
use random decks though.
everything matters when it's a fandom deck. But yeah, I was just thinking that out of all of the decks that I have in front of me, and honestly, I thought that I had like three fandom decks, and I counted them today, and I have 10. And I don't know when that happened, but it happened. But I have stuff like, this Harry Potter Hogwarts playing cards
Mhm.
that I pretty much just bought because, oh, look at the box.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that it's actually just a normal playing cards, but the boxes, for some reason, the tin is bigger.
Mhm. That's
But
interesting.
yeah, and it's not like they overdid the whole design. But it's kind of still cool. And I bought this deck because I was like, oh, I want to learn how to read playing cards.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to learn that, but one day.
I
But
know. I didn't grab any of my playing card decks. I just grabbed a handful anyway, but like I have probably more playing card fandom decks because those are
mhm,
easier. Like I have
yeah.
Stargate ones and Princess Bride ones and
Oh,
Firefly ones and like all the I love Firefly.
have you heard that they want to reboot it?
No,
Disney.
but
Disney wants to reboot it and take out the risky characters and storylines, and it's gonna be a mess. I just saw an article recently, and what they described as Firefly is going to be, it's a no. So, like, why?
that's sad. That's not gonna work.
No.
You can't have Mal and Inara and take out the risque. It just doesn't work.
Oh, exactly. That was why the show was so good. So, even if they do something, I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm never gonna watch it because I rather rewatch the old show.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
makes no sense. Okay, so I'm gonna catch up on comments because there's a lot of people saying a lot of things. So just to see. Okay, a lot of a lot of comments. Okay, Supernatural. I love yeah. Most people are like, I love Super. It doesn't suck per se. It has potential. It's just you have to work for it. This is a deck that you really want to use.
You gotta want it.
Yeah. Yeah, most fandom decks are missing something, and that is true. But I think most decks in general are missing something because we, as readers, are so particular what we want in a deck. So I don't think I have one deck that is like, oof, perfect. Everything is good.
Even if you, I always say, if you want a perfect deck, make it. But as somebody who's making multiple decks right now, that's total BS too. Because even though I'm making decks, it's still not perfect. I still can't even like get to the point of, it being a perfect deck because I every time I experience the deck, I'm like, oh, I should change this because I'm not the same as I was when I drew that, even if it was
Yeah.
like 2 days ago. Something's different. So,
Yeah, and you learn something about the card itself and you
mhm.
attempt to create it. So yeah, but I mean, the one that I'm working on is a collage, digital collage deck. So I'm not doing one yet, but there are cards that I'm like, oh, it's kind of finished. And then a few weeks went by and worked on other cards, and I went back and like, oh no, it's not. And
Yeah, I've
I
I've
don't think I ever gonna finish with it.
I have had huge struggles. My poor members because they see the back end all that, and I'm like, what did I make? Help me figure it out because I lay out all these cards I drew, and I'm like, I don't see it, you guys. Where is it? There's a deck in here somewhere, because it's like it takes so long to draw a deck, especially when you're drawing it. I mean,
Mm,
digital art takes a long time too, but
yeah, but obviously less.
it's like it's been 3 months since I drew that card, and I'm still working, my way through the minors or whatever. And now I feel like it looks different. It doesn't even look like it's in the same deck.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
there are a
frustrating.
few decks. There are a few decks. I think the tarot is one that it clearly shows the progression and not
Yeah.
in a good way because there are cards that are total different art style as the rest. So
That's
that can be, off-putting for some people.
yeah.
But you mentioned
It's
more than one
off-putting for
deck.
me drawing it.
Yeah, exactly. So you're working on that alien deck,
Yeah.
and
I have
what else?
I have
What
an
else?
alien deck. I'm making an illustrated version of my fan deck. So
Mm.
I'm redrawing a lot of
Oh,
those.
that's
May
cool.
Maybe that one will be able because it's, like, not actually
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a gray area. Like, we're talking about fandoms, talking about copyright, like, it's a gray area, right? And I'm very aware of that, and as a creator, I want to be, you know, sensitive to that, right?
Yeah.
I'm taking somebody else's idea and translating it into my own language, but still, it's a gray area. And I'm also doing a digital art deck as well. Oh, and an oracle. My oracle's almost done. I always forget that one. I'm like 2
Poor
cards
Oracle.
away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just a few decks here and there. I've
Yeah.
got
I
like
mean,
printouts of decks all over the place, and it's a hot mess in my office.
yeah. I mean, before released the second zombie and the questions and the what did I do? Did something else. There was a third deck. Oh, the Galaxy RWS. Whoops.
Mhm.
So I did them all at once as well, and I never knew where I was with which deck. Did I finish that one?
Yeah.
Never gonna do that again. Never gonna work on more than one deck at a time because it's
Yeah.
just.
I'm trying to do the same thing because I was doing the alien deck and then I was working on a pitch for another deck and I realized that somewhere in the midst of all of that, I switched from illustrating the alien deck to the deck I was writing the pitch
Mm.
on. And I was like, oh my goodness, now I have like 2 or 3 decks going on here. Like it's a ginormous pile of cards. Like it's ridiculous. Like, but and there's not one single deck in that. It's just like
It's just.
3 different decks.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
But I mean, like you said, a deck creating a deck takes time, and
yeah.
it's the just the publishing part. It's a few years. We're not even talking about the before.
The creation of it, yeah.
Yeah,
That takes a long time too. Yeah. My
yeah.
my Oracle deck is closest to being finished, and that will actually be like out and about. But I'm just gonna throw it on make playing cards because I don't know how these indie creators have time to make art and be their own distributors. I'm like, I don't have time for that. It's gonna have to go and make playing cards, and it's just gonna have to be what it is.
I
Because
mean, yeah. I mean, I went with make playing cards because it's easy. I mean, easier. I
yeah.
upload and people can, like
Mhm.
I went with it because you don't have to pay customs. So I wanted to get it as cheap as possible. But I'm kind of toying with the idea of making the zombie oracle available on Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to a printing company, and I'm getting quotes and stuff like that, because at the same time, if you don't have a large following, then people can't really find your deck there, because their search system
Oh,
sucks.
yeah.
It's
Making
just
a website is awful.
exactly. So I'm thinking about, making it available on Etsy, but we will see how much it's gonna be,
You
like
can go.
time and whatever. So
You
yeah,
can just have
hopefully.
it. You can have it everywhere. There's like there's couple creators that they have their decks on like Make Playing Cards, Printer Studio, Game Crafter, like
Yeah, I
because
was thinking
there's
about
no
checking those
you're the
out.
creator. You're not going through a publisher, so you own all your copyright. So you can
Yeah,
distribute it any way you want or anywhere you want. And that might be helpful to get it more out there. But none of them have very good websites with search functions or
no.
anything like that. So that's kind of they're not really meant to be retailers. They're meant to be
Yeah, it's so interesting that they have such a
publishers.
huge website and web shop, but it's not for selling decks, even
Mm,
though it is for selling decks.
right.
So what are we doing? But yeah, but I like this comment, because what I said about the tattoo deck is, Amber said that it's one of her or their favorites, because you can see the progress. So it's just so that it just shows that we really do look for, different things in decks, and
Mhm,
especially in fandom decks.
mhm.
So give me, I'm not going to ask you to give me a deck that you don't like, because, what's the point? Give me your favorite one currently available. And you don't even have to have it yet, or, just which deck is your favorite when it comes to fandoms?
Is it cheating to say mine?
No, no, absolutely not. I always cheat with
I
my
mean,
decks in
let's
VRs.
be honest, my favorite fandom deck is the weird little one I made. Um,
Okay, and now you can show it, because,
but
we need to see. I mean, we're
okay,
halfway through the live,
okay,
so
I'll preface it though by saying you cannot buy it. I do not own the copyright. Blah 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 blah.
like
All
it's a personal deck. It's
It's
just,
a personal deck. I printed it at home. It's on like it's laminated, which I absolutely hate because it's like big and floofy and
oh
like
yeah.
shiny. And oh, there's the backs. I'm terrible at
Ooh.
this.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't.
I'm gonna make you solo, and then it's easier.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's
um,
easier to show around stuff.
okay. So like it's things like this. This is from. Sorry, they're super shiny.
Oh,
This is my messenger of cups. That's my knight. But like here, we were talking about like Disney stuff.
mm.
High priest. Oh, here's another one. That one got flagged when I tried to get it print, and I was like, "It's just for me." They don't care.
Yeah, it's the magician. Like, why? It's a really good magician.
I got like Teal'c from Stargate is my Knight of
Oh,
Swords. Ciri from Witcher. So I've got like a mix of things in here. I'm gonna see what else I got. And I've got like new stuff. So like the new Wonder Woman. She's my
mm.
Justice. Discovery of Witches. The Two of
Oh,
Swords.
I should watch the second season of
Buffy. Nine of
Buffy.
Cups.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Uh,
one.
little known Farscape sci-fi.
Oh, I love Farscape as well.
You know, Ronan before he became
Yeah,
Aquaman and whoever
all the
else.
big things.
Starbuck from the new
Oh God, I love Star. Oh, like Battlestar Galactica is my favorite show
it's
ever.
one of my favorites too. This is one of my one of my favorite cards. This is my Six of
Oh,
Cups with the new and old Cylon.
that's so cool. Oh
Uh,
my God, yeah, that's a fandom I really want the deck, but it has to be done perfectly.
for sure, right?
So it's
Like
never gonna happen.
Battlestar Galactica,
Oh, who is he?
Wands, Apollo.
Oh, okay. I mean, which card? I mean,
Oh, he's the Page of Wands.
Page of Wands. Okay. It makes sense, the Page of Wands, yeah.
And
It's not a
Starbuck is
knight,
the
so yeah.
messenger, the knight.
Yeah. Yeah, plus
Buffy
he went through shit, so.
Cups. It's all
Oh,
peoply. It's very peoply. So you have to like know the characters. Uh,
yeah.
this is my favorite one.
Mm,
Daniel Jackson is the
yes.
Page of Swords. Here's a
That's good.
Witcher.
Oh, Witcher
All
deck would be,
there. Charm.
honestly.
I,
Yeah.
I went through all of them. Oh, this is another one of my favorites. Haley.
Oh, I love her. See,
So
you can't replace her. You can't make a Firefly a new show
I
without her.
can't, no, but I am working on illustrating her, so I'll just show you real quick since we're just playing. Where'd she go? Okay, so so this is digital art that I did,
Yes.
and then I redrew it.
Oh, I think
So
it's good
these
enough.
are illustrated versions. So I'm working on redrawing it. And some of them are changing, but like, I mean, it's close enough.
Yeah, yeah, you can see her, but I think it's why it's good. It's close enough, but at the same time, it's different enough. So it's
That's
not necessarily her.
that's hopefully what I'm going for because like and mainly it's not like I just want a real copy that I can work with because like the laminated stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I can understand. I made a little copy of the first version with just a few cards for the zombie
mhm.
oracle, and I did the whole printing both sides out, cutting them and gluing them, and
Yep.
all that jazz. But I just love the size, and I miss that. It's smaller than the make playing card, and it's just fun because it was mine.
Yeah, it was so much work. I mean, I printed, yeah, I did the same, printed mine. Somebody asked about my death card. It's Lestat.
Ah, that's a good.
Um, but yeah, and then I printed it on cardstock front back, cut it all out, and then
It's okay. I mean, see, that's why it's Dawn's fandom deck, because
yeah,
we all have different ones.
it totally makes sense in my head.
I mean, we watch and we're a fan of most of the same shows as I can tell. So you
Mhm.
know, I was like, oh, I know that. Oh, how that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm in the 7 seasons of Buffy because I'm rewatching Buffy and Angel, and
Mhm.
soon it's gonna be over. And yeah, I did that to, yeah, like I said, in preparation for the deck, which might have just made everything worse because everybody is gonna be more clear in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's
I
a
think,
lot of people doing that too, rewatching Buffy to kind of gear up
yeah,
for the deck, which like I'm planning on it too. I want to do a rewatch of it again too, but it's like um
I mean, it's an interesting question because I was able to, when I printed my own copy of the Zombie Oracle, uh, before I knew that, they're going to flag it after I put it up for sale. I
Mhm.
had a few image that was not from a free site because I didn't know, I was young and naive and stuff like that. And they let me use those for a personal use. But I guess because you wanted to use very specifically Disney ones and big, like,
They yeah, they had no,
companies.
I argued with all of them for
Yeah,
weeks on end about, what my intention was with it, and I'm not gonna sell it. I just want one copy. Um, you know, and
personal use and everything.
I went through all of them, all of the different print on demands. The one company that finally explained to me why was actually Game Crafter, and they explained that because they have to charge me to print the deck, that then becomes copyright violation for them to sell it to me because I've now bought it from them. And it is mostly because I used movies, the TV shows.
Mhm.
I mean, technically, it's all copyright, right? There's like
Everything.
we can backtrack around all that all we want, but at the end of the day, it is all somebody else's intellectual property. There's no
Yeah,
way around that. All the fandom decks are copyright infringement unless you have specific okay from the copyright holder. I mean,
which
we
I
can
don't think
pretend
they
that's
do.
not the case, but it actually is. I come from a
Yeah,
publishing background. I can tell you for a fact that is the way it is. So I get it. But there's still, as a creator, I'm like, I just want one I can shuffle. That's all I'm trying to
exactly.
get here, people. So I printed it myself, but and I do get it because like that is somebody else's
Yeah,
idea.
but you're not trying to make a profit, and I
I'm not
think
trying
that
to make a
should
profit of it.
that should matter
Yeah.
because yeah,
The problem is they make a profit off of it. So
yeah. But I
technically
think
they become in violation of copyright.
I get that, but I think on make playing cards, you tick the box that it's blah blah blah. They kind of make
But
it okay that you have all the responsibility if anything like that happens. So
I think it
I'm not
was
sure if they can actually do that legally or they just say
I
that, and
don't know. I mean, it's their business, so it's their right to like refuse
obviously.
service. It's basically what they did. They refused service, and They refunded me my money and everything because that was like after I uploaded everything and
Oh,
paid for it and all of that. And
ah,
honestly, if I didn't have Disney related movies in there, because like I was saying before, that Disney's very litigious about that kind of stuff. So
yeah. I don't know. I mean,
a
I've
lot of
seen
times
that
they
as
get
well.
past that by using printers that are in other countries that do not have the same copyright laws.
Yeah, Big Playing Cards is based in Hong Kong for a reason.
Hmm.
I mean, let's just be honest.
Which is why I think if it had been anybody other than Disney, like
Oh,
there are
yeah,
some copyright things that you are really taking your life into your own hands if you mess with them, because they're extremely copyright um
conscience,
and
conscious,
concerned,
whatever.
yeah, and they're very
Yeah,
litigious about things. So but
yeah,
it is where you print from, and there's a reason a lot of fandom decks come out of other countries and stuff like that,
yeah,
uh,
China.
because they have different copyright laws than we do. I don't know that there's a moral implication there though. So
Yeah, you have to be okay with buying a fake deck because some people are okay with buying a fake deck from, Chinese sites. And
mhm.
that's also something like it's your own personal conversation
Mhm.
that you have to have. But
Yeah,
sometimes when decks are actually official, like I don't know if you know the Harry Potter
I
magical.
saw that one. I actually saw that one at a craft store the other day.
I was so excited for it, and I made the mistake to pre-order it without seeing the cards.
Hmm.
And again, it had potential. I really liked the text that they give on the back
Hmm.
because they always give a little description of the scene or whatever, and then ask really good questions. So you
Hmm.
can use it for journaling. I use it in pick a card readings and whatever. But all the cards, because and this was one of the cards that I saw, and I was like, the sorting hat for identity. How perfect is
That
that?
works. Yeah.
Yeah, until I saw that all the cards in the identity group has the same image.
That's a bummer.
So there are like five different images, and so there are like no actual difference in the images. So I got a really cool bag out of the whole deck. But yeah,
And
so
that's
there
one of
was
those.
just
There's so much to pull from.
yeah, exactly. And thinking about copyright, because fandom decks has that. I
Mhm.
have the Britney Oracle, and I'm honestly not sure if how is this like oh, okay, I guess it's under license of Epic Rights, but I don't know,
Mhm.
is Epic the label?
It might be the label. Yeah.
Because it's not a collage deck, but I don't know if you know this one.
I've seen that
it's
one. Yeah.
it's, it's pretty much like what you're trying to do, or what you're doing, not trying to, what you're doing
Hmm.
is like illustrating Britney.
Hmm.
So it's not exactly her, but after I bought it, I was like, did I just give money to people who are responsible for Britney's conservatorship, or did I give money to Britney because it came out after the conservatorship officially ended, even though it's not over yet, and the legal issues are still there, and they didn't close the accounting for the last year and stuff like that. So I was like, did I make a mistake? So sometimes, it's very hard with fandom decks because you want to support the fandom. You think that you're supporting the actual fandom.
It's
And
yeah.
then,
It's really hard to know where things are coming from.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately. Oh, hi, Christina Louise. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, hi everyone who's coming into the chat. I'm really sorry. I'm just, like, I love that you guys are, having conversation. I just can't keep up with an actual
I'm trying
conversation
to.
in the chat.
I keep side eyeing the chat, trying to watch it.
Yeah,
I think StreamYard chat is also behind too. Usually.
yeah, that too,
Yeah.
that too.
I think
Oh,
my favorite fandom deck though is actually this one that we were
oh,
talking about.
okay. Oh, yeah. Please
So
show, because yours is a
mine is
different version.
different.
Yeah, I didn't know, but yeah, I'm gonna buy a second copy because let's try to find the same. Can we find the same card? Oh, like uh, I have the Knight of. Okay, I'm not gonna. Is I think it's the Knight of Cups because I made it blue. So if you if you can find that, we can show the difference. because why not? It's such a well made, it's beautifully illustrated.
It is.
And I really like that it's not round and that the corners are almost like square. And it's linen and it's a good cardstock. And
wait, which one am I looking for? I forgot.
I think the Knight of Cups.
Distracted by the artwork.
Yeah, yeah. We're just gonna sit here for the rest of the stream and just go through the deck and be like, oh, I mean, look at that. I think it's the Seven of Swords. I think it's the guy because
Seven of Swords. Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I was just look at that.
On him, he's on top.
Look at that, guys.
So
it
mine
has titles.
Yeah,
it has titles now, you guys. I mean, they listened to the complaint, and this is the deck, the Dungeons and Dragons tarot deck. So I will have to rebuy this deck because I said, because I made the marks, so I can distinguish, but it's bothersome to be like when I remember when I watched your video about the gamer decks. I didn't realize that the cards has titles, which is ridiculous because this is how good I am to pay attention to details. I was looking at the cards and all I saw is that it kind of looks cool that the little symbols are not filled in with the color, and maybe I should have done that. But if you didn't do it, because there must be a way to remember which suit they are. I didn't even realize that. Because they have titles now. So.
Yeah, because I got a lot of comments in that video about how come mine doesn't have titles. How come yours does? And the only thing I could think is mine must be a newer printing. I got it at after Christmas, so at the very end of the year, and I ordered mine from Amazon. So if you are buying it also from other distributors or like brick and mortar shops, they don't cycle through their stock as often as Amazon does. So like if you want the newest, latest stock, Amazon, as much as, I hate to like trout Amazon here, but like they are going to be the one that's probably going to be most likely to have the newest stock in hand because they rotate theirs out so quickly compared to everyone else. But
yeah, I mean, I think I will have to wait because we don't have a specific Amazon for Hungary. So the ones that I can buy from is the German one, and I think there's a French and maybe Italian one. I don't buy from the UK one anymore because Brexit happened and shippings are like horrible, and the US one is like no. But Book Depository doesn't cycle through their inventory as fast because I was able to get, by complete coincidence, and I didn't even expect it to be, but I have the linen version for the Game of Thrones there, which was the first edition, I think.
That's the same edition I have, which is lovely. Yeah,
it's amazing, and I didn't even realize, and it was by complete coincidence. And then a friend on Instagram, saw that I had the first edition, and they immediately ordered it, and they didn't get this cardstock. So I was like, I don't know how this happened because honestly,
it must be stock. And I was looking in the D&D book, and mine says copyright 2022 first edition. So
mine says 2022 as well.
So maybe it's not a different edition. This is a Clarkston Potter print. Maybe it's different printers. I don't know.
No, it's the same for this one as well, Clarkson Potter, but it just says that 2022 Wizards, and it says first edition in the bottom here.
Okay, my copyright page looks exactly like that. So
okay, then I still will have to email them and ask where can I get the one with the titles?
Yeah, because I'm not sure that there's any like real way, and that gets really tricky when you're talking about like different editions and like different card stocks, and like especially for like older decks because they'll get reprinted multiple times. And
I mean, Nancy Paper Montero was so kind, and she gave me an email to someone who's probably close to the publishing company for this one, because I really wanted to find a way to reach them, but all I was able to do is find the illustrator, and I asked them about, like who made the decision, like, and then they were like, whoever wrote the book, they were responsible for picking
Yeah.
certain things for the cards, as why they were, illustrated the way they were. So I didn't really get far with that, and I couldn't really find a way to reach them. But I will still email them because I wanted the edition with the titles.
It would be, I mean, I've had a couple people like message me and stuff, and I'm just like, well, you can either try to get a new one or write titles on it, right? Because you can
Yeah.
look at the book, or I'm like, if you have a question, I can look at my deck or whatever. But it would be a really, because it doesn't follow the traditional RWS,
No,
it would be really difficult to work with without any sort of
without titles.
titles.
That's
Like,
why I made, and I said it in my first impression, that it would be completely fine to not add the title if you make a different symbol for each suit.
mhm,
So it's visible, so it's knowable, because they differ from the RWS system in a really good way. They use
mhm,
the intelligence for the sword, like all the characteristics that you have in games or in fantasy world.
yeah.
That was really smart. But what does good does it do if you don't have a deck that actually shows that? So
Yeah. I mean, it's a brilliant deck. It's done really well, but it would, yeah, without titles, it would be, you'd have no idea what you're looking at, because, and it's not even pippish enough in nature to be able to like
no.
count things on the cards. You can't do that either.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And I don't want to. I mean, can
Yeah,
I
no.
have, like, I want to be indulged, and I want the deck to be better. And it's
Mhm.
so good to know that they actually did something, because Supernatural is still in its current form. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Maybe they'll redo another one when they run out of their stock or whatever that they have of that one, but I
yeah, I mean,
the thing that worried me about the fandom decks with them is just so many times a lot of traditional book publishers will be like, "Ooh, tarot's the new thing." Right? Tarot got really big, particularly during the pandemic. It's been ramping up, but pandemic it hit, like we saw tons of tarot
yeah,
channels, lots of decks coming out and all of that. And so you had all of these publishers that were jumping on board who really don't know anything about tarot.
yeah,
And like our traditional, our mainstay publishers, like they have people who know tarot. They know what they're talking about. They know what they're creating. And so when they're producing things, they do sit in tarot as their foundation. But then when you get these newer publishers that are just jumping on the bandwagon, and I was
yeah.
really worried Instant Edition was going to do that. And but it does seem like they are
Learning.
taking feedback, and they're learning and they're changing and growing. So I feel a little bit better, because when they first, I'll be honest, when they first started reaching out to me, I was like, no, no, no.
I can understand. When they first started to come out with decks, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna get it, because Fandom, that it's not gonna be a deck that I'm gonna be like
Mhm.
happy to use in readings or show off on my channel in a way that just flip through and a first impression, and then
Mhm.
it's probably never gonna be touched again. But they really do. I mean, I look at the decks that I have from them, and they are trying, they are
Mhm.
doing stuff. And even though the Lord of the Rings is quite a recent one, and they are like, this is a very like simple pipish like miners deck, but I feel like it was on purpose. So
Yeah.
at least it's not like we're trying to be something else. No, it's a pipish deck, and if you like the pipish deck, you like it. If you don't, you
I
know.
think that's the frustration too with a lot of the fandom decks, where you're getting these publishers that, because we're also looking at publishers who have licensing for these things, so they
Mhm.
exist in a different realm than tarot publishers, like strictly tarot publishers,
Yeah,
or sort of those new age publishers. So they have access to copyright that other publishers don't. So they're coming at it without that tarot knowledge, and they're doing this weird pippy illustrated mixy thing that people who know tarot are like, a pip deck is fine, an illustrated deck is fine, but you can't exist somewhere in the middle. It doesn't work, because like the labyrinth tarot is a pip deck, and yeah, that's somewhere in the middle. It's like,
yeah.
make up your
It's a
mind of
it's a
where
bad
you want
mix.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Ange. So
Hello.
yeah, Nancy mentioned it, that with just to go back to the printing, that there are the numbers at the bottom, but mine has all the numbers and it says first edition, for the Dungeons and Dragons, so it should be the first edition. So,
Mhm.
but technically, if they changed it, it shouldn't be called a first edition, because as soon as you change something, it should be at least a different
It
edition,
should
a
be a
second
second
edition or
edition.
something. So
Yeah.
it's weird. I mean, I don't mind. They can call it first edition if that's what their jam is, but it should be. I'm not sure if they would get a different ISBN. I forget how that works, even though I learned that in like school for being a librarian.
Mhm.
But I haven't really used that knowledge, so I kind of forgot. But yeah, New York, and it's printed in China. What a surprise! I don't mind. I mean, it's good quality, so I'm not hating on it.
I feel like Jonathan just said that it doesn't have titles either. I feel like I'm the only one that has one with titles.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Jonathan got his copy around the time that I got mine. So I
Mhm.
think we pretty much got the first batch. So maybe
Maybe
someone ran
that's
to the
it.
printer and they were like, we need to add titles. I can imagine that, like
Yeah.
someone running down the printing, like the old fashioned way of printing
Mhm.
newspaper or something like that, and just shouting at like, stop the printing, we need to add titles. Which would be cool. Like it's never gonna happen, but yeah. Ooh, I mean, are you sure you want to sell the mystery deck? Because I kind of feel like it would be so outdated in certain aspect. Just based on life, like how like a lot of things changed. But yeah, I
Yeah.
can.
I haven't seen Sesame Street in years and years because my kids are grown. So
Yeah, I mean, it. I watched it when I was around 9 or 10. I think that was when I
yeah.
was on TV here, but I never really got into the whole thing. I don't know, like talking like puppets, big puppets was my thing. I was into the, like elves and whatever, pretty
Uh-huh.
much ever since I was 9, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, uh, we're almost at the hour, so I'm gonna just ask a last question. It's a hard one. Which fandom would you pick, to have a deck? And you don't have to think about it that it's gonna suck or everything, but just pick a fandom that you want a deck to happen for.
Oh, that's easy for me. Stargate.
Oh, Stargate. Okay.
Stargate. I would love a Stargate deck. I mean, clearly, I'm wearing a Stargate
Oh
shirt.
yes, yeah. Obviously, you're wearing a T-shirt, so you're advertising it. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
mean,
would definitely be it.
yeah,
I
I
might
mean,
look at it someday, just for myself.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, you can't see that, but this whole this shelf is the Harry Potter shelf in my room.
Nice.
But even though I kind of like, I want a Harry Potter deck, and I looked into all the different magical decks that you can find everywhere, like Little Wizard and whatever, and I always find something that I'm like, nope, can't deal with. I'm done. Like after like 4 cards, so I don't know if ever there's gonna be ever a deck that I'm comfortable with and be like, ooh, that's my Harry Potter deck.
Hmm.
But also Battlestar Galactica, it's so
That would be a
rich
good one.
in mythology and just everything. And I rewatch it like every 2 or 3 years, and I love the last scene of the
Mhm.
whole show. I'm not going to talk about it really, like I don't want to talk about it in too much detail, because if someone didn't watch the show, they should, and I don't want to ruin the whole thing. But that conversation between the two characters at the end,
Mhm.
when they talk about what's real, it's just, it was so mind-blowing to me when I first watched it. And I just loved the mythology and the philosophicalness of the whole show, that
Yeah,
I think it would work so brilliantly as a tarot deck. But yeah, it needs to be done well.
that's when I rewatch all the time too.
Yeah, but I don't think ever they're gonna do one unless someone picks it up. Like it becomes in fashion for a reason, because
Yeah.
it's been a while and no one's talking about it. I don't know
Mhm.
why, but yeah. Oh yeah,
Witcher
Witcher
would
would,
be good. That would be a good one.
like, it's magical. It's that magic. Like why are we not getting a Witcher deck? But
Mhm.
Inside Edition, I think will come up with a Witcher deck soon. I mean, I can't see that not happening, because
Yeah.
even though the show is pretty much gonna die because they changed Gerald, so Yeah, whatever. Star Wars could be one, yes.
Hmm.
Assassin's Creed. I kind of feel like, yeah, that would be
I feel like
visually
the runic
very.
tarot is really close to. Somebody mentioned that in a video. The runic tarot is like
Oh,
Assassin's Creed Valhalla
oh
edition.
yeah, yeah, I can see that.
But then I apparently do that. I look at decks that have absolutely nothing to do with that stuff, and I'm like, oh, look, this is what this is.
Yeah, but as soon as you mentioned in the gamer video that the Dungeons and Dragons is for like a different game, I was like, Dungeon Siege, like that was my first like big game that I played, and it is like such a good deck for that one. So yeah,
Yeah,
it happens. It happens.
I think if you know your fandom, you can
Yeah,
find things that relate to it.
I mean, I would do like say no, that would be a good one. Even though I don't really remember the show anymore because I used to watch it when I was a teenager. It was on
Hmm.
TV back then, so
Yeah,
100 years ago.
yeah, same.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I
the
don't
next
have that deck, and yeah, I haven't really heard good things about it
I
yet.
do, and
So
it's terrible. It's like I have it right here. It sits on a shelf. This is like I it's still in order. I won't use it. It sits on a shelf, but like it's just one of those that it's a collector thing because I love next gen, so
yeah, I mean,
it's there. But it is kind of one of those things where it's like every time I look at it, there's a little bit of, oh, that's just sad.
yeah, I mean, I have a friend that we become friends because of Star Trek and snooker. Like an interesting pairing, but because of that. And we were talking about which series have you watched first, and both of us were like Next Generation. Like we grew up like that was our introduction into Star Trek, and then we watched everything. And
Hmm.
yeah, and I do love disco, and I know a lot of people don't like disco, but I was able to go to a Star Trek convention a few years back. I have, I'm gonna get it. I have the pass over there,
Oh,
but
nice.
that was my first convention because they don't really happen in Europe. They do happen, but not in Hungary and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I honestly never understood why people like to cosplay in conventions before.
Mhm.
And then we went to this really small one, so people were everywhere, really up close. So that was really cool. And I walked out of that convention being like, "Oh, I completely understand. I want to dress up as well. Cosplay is so much fun." So yeah, fandom. So I would love a disco because that was the first year for Discovery.
Mhm.
So the whole panel was there. Everyone, they were all just excited to be in conventions and stuff like that. The actors. So it was really cool. So I would love a Discovery. And plus, honestly, that white uniform for the medical bay,
Uh-huh.
I would love that. So, so yeah. Okay. If anybody has a question, quickly throw it out there because I'm gonna let the mission go because I can talk forever, and I think we can both talk forever. At least fun about fandom, that's for sure. But
For sure, yeah.
yeah, mishmash of 980. I mean, I was born in the 80s, but so for me, things started in the 90s. Like music was still the best, okay, in the 90s and in the early 2000s. I'm sorry, but pop music especially was the best.
Mhm. I would
So
agree with
yeah,
that.
I still go back and listen to a lot of songs that I listened to back then, and
Mhm.
it's called retro now, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's not retro, but yeah,
That's okay. My kids say I'm still stuck in the 90s, so I still watch 90s shows, still listen to
that was
90s
the best.
music.
Like,
It
of
was.
course. Oh yeah, yeah. We have I mean, I have 10. Uh,
I
Maybe
didn't
I should do a video about it. I can do a video because there's a lot of decks here. Thank you for giving me an idea.
I didn't count mine. I if you like include playing card decks and everything, I'm probably like somewhere in the 20s.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like because I have because playing card decks are easy to pick up in a fandom.
Yeah.
So
Yes, your pen looks good.
too.
Okay, so I don't see a question, but maybe it's just coming in. Yeah, the original Sean. I mean, I didn't watch the new one. To be
I
honest,
didn't watch the new
when I saw that they made a remake, I was like, I don't need it. I watched the original. I grew up with that. I don't need it. I
one.
watched the a few episodes of the Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, and I was like, what did they do with the show?
Yeah,
I
I did
didn't,
not watch the
didn't
reboot
like
of
that.
that because that is a show that me and my youngest watch together all the time, and I'm like, I just can't. You'll ruin that experience for me because I know it's so different.
It's, I mean,
Like they took it, I think they took it dark and
yeah, but really dark. Like she's evil, and I'm like, why is she evil? Like I don't understand this. And yeah, plus I'm getting to that age when I'm like, I'm too old for teenagers being like all broody and just everything is about sex and boys, and I'm like, grow up, like. I mean, I understand that the new generation loves it, but it's not Sabrina, so I don't understand why
yeah.
they didn't name it something else,
Hmm.
because it was just so different from the original one that I don't even see why it was disconnected to the old one.
Yeah, just create a new show. That's totally okay. That's totally valid.
Exactly, like yeah, exactly. I don't get like Wednesday. I was hesitant to watch Wednesday because I love the Adams Family,
Mhm,
and I watched it because my colleagues were like, "Okay, you have to finish because we want to talk about it," and I was like, "Okay, then I'm gonna finish it."
mhm.
And they try to do, and they try to be like a teenage, like the new
Mhm.
type of show as well. They were okayish at the end, but I have issues. Like Christina Ricci is forever Wednesday, so
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
yeah. Okay, so what deck would you say is the Mist of Avalon book? I mean, I don't know, but I think it's for you, maybe. Do you know that
Um,
book?
I do have that book. Um, I mean, there's like the Mists of Avalon Oracle, which I
Yeah.
mean that's really on the nose. That's not a tarot though.
Yeah,
um,
but it's a deck, so.
oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of like I feel like the any of the Arthurian decks, the one it's out of print now, but the one by is it Anna Marie Ferguson? I think the
Isn't the one that been republished? There's
no
a deck.
the other one. That's
Ah,
the John and Matthews one, I think. But the other one that's by the same creator as the Llewellyn Tarot, and it's like that
oh,
washed out kind of purpley, um,
okay.
kind of almost like ghosty looking characters. I feel like those because of the sort of
Misty.
misty kind of energy of that deck, and it is in that world, right? The
Mm.
Arthurian Avalonian kind of world. So I don't have that deck, but I'm just guessing based on what I've
Yeah.
seen of it.
Yeah, but someone said that the new Sabrina show is more like the original Sabrina comics. No, that makes sense then.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the comics, so then it's completely fine to then I take it back because obviously they had the right to just do something that's closer to that one.
Hmm.
See, I learned something. But yeah, I'm not a horror fan. That's why I was hesitant, and I know you mentioned as well that I
Hmm.
didn't want to get the horror tarot because I was like, I don't watch horror. I like psychological thrillers.
Hmm.
Like you can kill, like you can put me in a world of the serial killer
Hmm.
if we're going after it to catch it. If it's a hack and slash and blood is everywhere, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't want to be scared. I don't like to be
No,
scared. And I didn't buy
yeah,
the horror
same.
tarot because I was like, nope, I don't like it. But now that's my Castlevania deck, so it works
Yeah,
for
because
me.
it's not scary. It's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really good one.
But
Yeah.
that to me is an unfortunately named deck because I just didn't even give it the time of day because of
Same. I was the same. I was like,
yeah, horror,
and
nothing.
then and I only got interested in it because of the Darkwood because I really like the art style and it has the same illustrator. So if it was illustrated by someone else, I don't think I would ever looked at it twice. And now it's kind of like the darkest corner of the forest. That's where I associate it. In the Darkwood is the darkest corner because I think it's just fits
That's
that.
a good association, yeah.
Okay. What? Recently finished Wednesday and I really liked it, but I also really like Harry Potter, so it reminded me of that a bit. I mean, no. I mean, for
It had
me,
a
it's
school aspect.
yeah,
They
but
were at a school.
Yeah, but yeah, no. I mean, for me, it's not. But I completely understand that. It's for you. It's like it's good.
Mhm.
Oh, Dark Angel. Dark Angel was good as well.
Yeah, saw that one too.
And Dollhouse.
Yeah.
How good that was. And they canceled it, and I was so mad.
Same with like the Nevers. I don't know where I was just talking about this with some other people. The Nevers was like a steampunky one. Poor Josh Whedon. He can't get a show to run more than one season.
Yeah, because that turns out he's an asshole. So I guess it's okay
Yeah, but he
because
makes good shows. Like is the
he made good shows. But
Firefly
yeah,
Nevers was good. Wasn't Dollhouse one of his?
yeah, Dollhouse was his. That's why we watched it. But the things that surfaced recently about how he runs production is just not good. So I'm
That's
glad that at least people in Buffy are not completely like hating the whole thing, because Sarah Michelle Gellar said that she's very happy that her name is associated with Buffy
mhm,
forever, but she's not happy that it's associated with Joss Whedon as well. So
mhm.
stuff like that. But
That's sad. Yeah, I don't follow I
I
don't
mean, I
follow
did.
too much about the back end of a show I enjoy because it takes me out of it's like what do they call
I
that?
don't either. It's just I ran into some allegations, and then I looked into, because Charisma Carpenter said so, like there were
Mhm,
lawsuits and stuff, and that's why I know, because I watch LawTube as well. So,
mhm.
but
Yeah.
yeah. Did you not find the mythos and folklore in Supernatural slightly disconcerting? No.
I'm not that far into it, so
Yeah, Down is all like you're into like two
yeah,
seasons.
the first part of season 2, I
Yeah,
think.
so
Yeah, so
it's there's gonna be a lot happening, but yeah.
yeah, got a
Um,
long way to go.
There was a show that I really like. Was it Dead Like Me?
Dead Like Me was awesome.
It was brilliant, and I hated that they canceled it. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, there was so many good shows in that time period that was
Mhm,
canceled. That is so frustrating. Like Angel was never finished,
mhm,
and now that I'm closing off to the seasons, and because I'm in the middle of the fourth one before the big finale for Buffy, I
mhm.
already know that I'm gonna hate how it ends. So I hate canceling shows, because I think that as viewer I would be entitled to at least an article somewhere. Tell
Some
me how you wanted to finish it, so at least I know.
Yeah, some kind of ending would be good, yeah, because you get invested in the shows and the
Yes.
characters, and it's like you just want some sort of resolution to come up out of that so you can, like it's like a breakup, you have to move on.
Yeah, exactly. That Like Me was awesome.
'Cause, yeah,
I mean, I
we
still
had the dog
remember.
named after a character in that show.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I mean, I still remember the first scene when she looks up at the sky in the toilet.
A toilet.
Like shit. For it,
Awesome.
I was just thinking about rewatching it, but I recently found finally who's doing the titles for Westworld and American Gods, because I love that show and I love the opening sequence. And I finally found the company, and I was like, ah! And they did Hannibal as well. And I was like, I knew it, because it was just so visually stunning. So I was like, I need some meds. I need to rewatch Hannibal first. So I'm gonna watch Hannibal, because that's different. Even though it's kind of horror-ish,
Mhm,
it's just so visually stunning that it's ridiculous if you think about what the show is all about. But
mhm.
it was one of the most beautifully done shows I ever watched.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that like we had a movie, like yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good thing. But yeah, I'm still salty that they seem to cancel smart shows that I like Dollhouse was really smartly done.
Yeah.
That Like Me was smart, and then shows like I don't want to like crap on Grace Anatomy, but why is the story still like on screen? Like I don't understand.
I I think it's because they cater to the largest demographic, which
Everyone. I mean, my dad loves it, and my dad is still watching it. And that's why I know it's still like coming out, because he watches it. So I'm
mm,
like,
I
yeah,
I think that's why smart shows get canceled.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really condescending, but and the same company did the American Gods and the Westworld opening
Yeah,
sequence, and I,
American Gods.
and as soon as I saw it, I was like, it has to be the same. But I tried to, look it up in the credits, and there was nothing there. And then on IMDb, I didn't find it. And then I looked at something on Wikipedia today, and there was listing it. The finally the company, I was like, oh. And they pretty much did all the opening sequence that I love in TV shows, and I just love how they do it. And like for example, a tarot deck with that aesthetic,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think that I would care what the deck is all about if it looks that stunning.
Like that, yeah.
So I could be, it could be a fandom deck, like I could just throw some images on there from opening titles, and I'm gonna be just happy.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I I think I read the first book, but I haven't read the other ones because yeah, it was scary and I wasn't allowed, and I didn't even want to do it. But I love the show, so
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, smart shows don't get the fan base. Smart shows don't get fandom legs. Could be a reason.
Yeah.
Let's just all bask in the glory of our smartness.
We're also brilliant.
Obviously, we're so smart. That's why there's no Battlestar Galactica deck yet. But yeah. Okay, so
Deck either.
yeah.
I'll make the Stargate one. You make the Battlestar Galactica,
Yeah.
and then we'll swap.
Oh, good. Yes, and then because we're making it, we can just make alternative cards for positions that we don't agree on. I like the idea. We can do that. Okay, but yeah, I'm gonna just say goodnight because even though you probably cannot tell, but I'm kind of feeling a little bit sick, so I should go and like
Get some
maybe
rest.
not talk as much as I do.
Yeah.
But honestly, I love these lives, and I really enjoyed our conversation because I really get like positive energy out of this. So you can do lives, YouTube lives for feeling better.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
that's today's conclusion, or we learned that.
That's today's
But
lesson.
yeah, but okay, so I'm gonna start the awkward waving and click on the button. And thank you so much, Sam, for being here. And
Thank you so much for having me.
as soon as you have your deck out, you're invited back on my channel to talk
Oh,
about it.
thank you.
Obviously. Okay, and thank you everybody who showed up in the chat. I'm really sorry I wasn't able to read everything, but like you are all appreciated. Trust me.
For sure.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.